Oh, hey! I didn't see you there. Greetings, adventurers. Sight is an extraordinarily important sense when you and your party is out adventuring. If you're using Roll20, come with me, and I'll cover how to grant your players the gift of vision. Within Roll20, vision is handled in the dynamic lighting settings. Ensure those are properly set up before moving forward. Assuming they are, we'll begin to set up our vision on a token-by-token basis. So I've started a level here to show a little bit what I'm talking about. I'm currently logged in as a player, so we're going to be seeing what our players are seeing. The only reason we're seeing anything at all right now is because I've gone ahead and set up light on this campfire, and I very limitedly set up sight for our player Hjalmar here. These four over here have no settings yet, and we can very clearly see how this is affecting what we can and cannot currently see. I can demonstrate what I'm saying by taking Hjalmar away from the group. Hjalmar can't see in the dark, and the other party members can't see at all. So everything is going dark. Alright, let's go ahead and rejoin as the GM, and then we can properly finish setting up the rest of the players' vision. As a GM, we can see a lot more of what we're trying to hide from our players. We can play around a little bit with the dynamic lighting by interacting with the dynamic lighting tool in the left toolbar. I prefer to leave some darkness just so I'm aware of what my players can and cannot see. We'll do a few different things here. Let's begin by finishing Hjalmar. With the token selected, we're going to click on this gear icon to bring up the token's settings. A window displaying our token settings will open. By default, the Details tab will be open. Let's navigate to the dynamic lighting. At the top, we have the token's vision setting, and we can see that Hjalmar's is toggled to on. Really quickly, I'll show you all what happens if we toggle it back to off, because nobody can see even with this light from the fire. Everything went dark. So it's very important that if you're going to play around with the dynamic lighting of your levels, that our players' vision options are all toggled to on. So let's switch that back on for Hjalmar. Now, you may have noticed something else that's curious, that Hjalmar can see in 360 degrees around himself. If that's the way you and your players like it, you can leave it like this. However, the way that these games typically work is characters have a line of sight that includes blind spots. I'll show you how to set this style of vision up now. Back in the dynamic lighting tab, scroll down to find Limit Field of Vision. Toggle that on. This limits the cone of view that your token has. For the way my tokens are set up, I like 120 degrees for total and 180 degrees for center because of the direction that he's facing. Now Hjalmar's token has a cone of view. And that's really what we want in games like this. That way, as DMs, we can flank our players, adding a little bit more to the stakes. If these particular settings aren't exactly what you're looking for, feel free to play around with them, find something else you and your players like. Rejoining as a player, we can see a big difference here. Hjalmar is ready to go. So let's set up the same thing for our other characters. The party now all have the same settings as Hjalmar. However, we have some characters here that have racial abilities to see in the dark. Our Tiefling Alfonso, Dark Elf Nivara, and Gnome Yancey. Currently, they won't be able to see into the dark away from the campfire. Let's go ahead and fix that now. Back in token settings, dynamic lighting tab, we have night vision here that we can also toggle on. Alfonso is a Tiefling, so 60 feet of dark vision. And I like to add a color effect so the players know when they're using their dark vision. I prefer this bluish gray one over here. Let's do the same thing we just did for Alfonso for Nivara and Yancey. With that taken care of, let's go ahead and give Alfonso's night vision a little test drive. Let me take him up here, and we can see that he can see, and there's a different color. Awesome. That's all working as intended. Final thing that we'll cover, we have ourselves a very dark cave, but only 3 of our characters can see in the dark. what will our human characters do? Well, we can go in blind, or our character Elwin could use a torch. Let's give him a glow to indicate that he's carrying a light source. Once again, in token settings and dynamic lighting, let's scroll down to find token emits light. And in there, we'll toggle bright light and we'll put 10 feet in there. Then we'll also toggle low light to give the light source a little bit shadowy, more realistic edge, and we'll put that at 5 feet. Now, if we move Elwin into the dark, he has a little light aura, and his own line of sight is limited by his light source's radius. Perfect.
I can see! I can fight!
Thank you for enduring this short quest with me, adventurers. Our party can now see and continue on their campaign. Please subscribe for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. Until our next quest, farewell, adventurers.